Michael Shinners from Sky Bet joins me here. You probably saw him in the background of a previous shot. This is the Sky Bet Supreme Trial Novices Hurdle, part of your Road to Cheltenham series.
Yeah, Road to Cheltenham. We've got 6 races now, Lydia. We thought it was best to probably add one in Ireland, as that's where it's probably going to be won. So we've got a race at Punchestown, the Sky Bet Moscow Flyer that Vitor won 2 years ago, Duvan won last year. Obviously it's a race that Willie Mullins supports, so we figured that would make sense. But we start off here at Cheltenham and then go on to Ascot. We've got races at Haydock, Musselburgh, and also the Sky Bet Dovecote at Kempton. So it's a real good series, and hopefully we'll get a good winner today with a bit of luck.
And has it added to the value of the sponsorship to be able to have that steady build up to the big one on the first day?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's great just to build a bit of momentum. We've had a lot of talking. Well, there's one definite talking horse in Min who we don't know anything about, but we know he's been really, really well backed, and Rich Ritchie suggested that he's possibly his Sky Bet Supreme horse at the moment. And then Moonracer, who we obviously all know about, who was really impressive winning the bumper, and that form looks good already with Yamworth winning. So yeah, I mean, it's great that we can kick off here, and with a bit of luck, Maputo or Altior or whatever horse wins well, and we can give him a quote and look forward to him running it maybe one of the other trials.
How do your traders see it today?
Well, we thought it was going to be softer than, to be honest. The ground, it was pretty rough day yesterday. The forecast wasn't brilliant. We were assuming that it was going to be softer again, so we were sort of fairly keen to take on Maputo. He has drifted. The money has been for the Henderson horse, but I certainly wouldn't rule out the John Ferguson horse. And I think it's a good race. I don't know whether we'll see a Sky Bet Supreme winner, to be fair. I'm not 100% sure. But hopefully we will. I mean, we've got like Sir Simon Squirrel, who's been a well talked up horse. I think it's a good little race, and hopefully we'll have a real good convincing winner.
Let's hope so. Thanks for talking to us, Michael. See you soon.
Thank you, Lydia.
The scene live here at Cheltenham with Altior on the way down to the start in this field of 5 in the absence of Mr. Miyagi. Altior, Jonathan, and indeed Maputo have shown a marked tendency to go keenly in their races thus far, and would probably benefit from maybe Drumley Sunset taking them along at a decent clip here.
Yeah, and you can see him sort of taking quite a tug going to post, and Drumley Sunset himself was going to post quite freely. He has led both in a bumper and when he was second here. Vienne Cherche led at Market Raisin, but I didn't get the idea that was a plan. It was just how things worked out. So yes, it will, I think, suit Altior and Maputo if there is a decent pace. Altior, well, definitely the paddock pick. I mean, he's much bigger than the others, and he looked in really good order.
Nicky Henderson won this race 12 months ago with Vita Duroc. Were you at Ascot when he got up to beat Gibello last time?
Yes, I was. I like the fact that he looked in a bit of disarray after the last, and he found plenty. And his one encounter with soft ground was good enough to make you think that, well, 2 encounters were good enough to make you think that he copes with it readily enough.
He's 2-1 at present, with Maputo on the 9-4 mark, looking to complete the nap hand of hurdling successes. We know all about Maputo from the flat and just the level of form that he was capable of. You wouldn't necessarily pick him out in this field purely on looks as a hurdler necessarily.
No, he looks like what he is. He's a flat horse, and a really good one, and he's taken a jumping really well. They've all been on flat tracks, so this will be a test for him. And he has won on soft ground on the flat, but I didn't think that was by any means his best form. So it's a completely different test for him. If he was to reproduce the form of the Kempton win, then he would probably win this, but I'm not sure that he necessarily will.
7-2 bar the 2, with Drumley Sunset third in the market. Now, he was set to reoppose his conqueror from last time, Mr. Miyagi, until that one defected. I thought that was a pleasing enough introduction to hurdling for Drumley Sunset.
Yes, he was a beaten favourite, but I guess he ran well enough, and the yard's going strong. I would have thought sort of rather more testing conditions, both in terms of ground and a breeze, might well suit him, especially given that he had enough stamina to win an Irish point.
Simon Squirrel is at 6-1. Paul Nicholls has won this race 3 times in the past, most recently back in 2012 with Dodging Bullets. 1 out of 1 over Timber, Simon Squirrel.
Gave him a lot of time to sort of grow up, I suppose, and he repaid them by winning pretty effectively at Newton Abbot. It wasn't a great race, but he won it in easy enough style. After which Paul Nicholls said he would not want the ground too soft. He's certainly going for a walk in the market, but as we've seen a number of times recently, that doesn't necessarily stop horses winning.
One who's going the other way is the outsider, Vian Cherchain, from 16s to 12s, and just about the most experienced of these. Yes,
and it's his win at Market Racing. He had double W's behind. He ran perfectly well here on Friday. Yeah, he has done well, and he's certainly not out of this, particularly if the race sort of panned out his way. It looks like who are we going to have leading?
We're going to have Drumley Sunset by the looks of things.
I think that's
a sentence to summarise as they come in.
The winner might not win the Supreme Triumph Hurdle, but it's still a nice little race to start us off.
But one of the beaten horses might win the county hurdle. Remember that. American Trilogy and Lac Fontana beaten in this race prior to going on and winning the county hurdle in the same season. Starters ready for them. So too is our commentator. It's good afternoon once again to Ian Bartlett.
Thanks, Stuart. Hi, everybody. So they're a little way, as usual these days, 20 or 30 yards from the start, but the flag is up and they're making their way slowly forward. Approaching the tapes now. They're off. Led away, Drumley Sunset slightly shied as the tape went up in front, and he's ducked out. Drumley Sunset has ducked out there, come down, unseated Richard Johnson. He interfered with Vian Cherchain, a red sleeve jacket, who's going to be the leader of the four that remain as they get over flight number 1, which Drumley Sunset riderless took well enough as they now make their way down the straight towards number 2. And Richard is safely up on his feet after Drumley Sunset got rid of him right at the start, and the horse galloping loose behind the 4 that remain in this Sky Bet Supreme trial. So Vian Cherchain, Danny Cook, red sleeves, green jacket, leads as they make their way on towards number 2, has an advantage of a couple of lengths as they hug the outside of the track in the early stages of this. Simon Squirrel in the beige and black jacket, Sam Tristan Davis is 2 lengths, 2.5 lengths behind, holding second place as they now swing left-handed and race away to the far side. The favourite Altior, stripes on the sleeves of a black jacket for Nico de Boinville, is 1 length behind, showing in 4th place. And then comes second favourite Maputo, Aidan Coleman, the red jacket with the maroon stripes on the cap, who is fractionally the back marker, as they swing left-handed then and make their journey on towards the 3rd flight of hurdles. And still Vian Cherchain continues to have the advantage, shows by now about 3 or 4 lengths, so he's increased his lead as he shapes up through flight number 3. Simon Squirrel continues to be in 2nd place, only narrowly ahead of Altior. Is about 3 parts of a length behind him as they all safely touch down over number 3. And Maputo continues to be the back marker. Not a strong gallop, and the loose horse rather winding up a couple of the others as he goes through the field there, and in fact heads them now as they make their way on towards number 4. A lead continues to be with Vian Cherchain. Altior is rather lit up as the loose horse went past him. He's taken a stronghold the whole way so far, though. Is in 2nd place now, about 1.5 lengths behind the leader. Simon Squirrel is relegated to 3rd place, but only a half length behind Altior, and there's less than 1 length behind him to Maputo as they make their way up towards the top of the hill. So approaching halfway now, they have 4 more flights to jump. Vian Cherchain continues to lead. He's about 1.5 lengths ahead of Altior in 2nd place. Then maybe a similar gap now to Simon Squirrel, who is holding 3rd. And then towards the right is Maputo, as they all took that one safely. So right at the top of the hill now, 3 more flights of hurdles to jump. Only about 5 lengths at most between the quartet who remain in the race as they swing left-handed and come to the downhill run to home. Vian Cherchain continues to lead. Shows to Altior in 2nd place, and then Simon Squirrel showing in 3rd, narrowly ahead of Maputo in 4th place, once again going right towards the outside of the running surface as they head down towards 3 from the finish. Still the red sleeve jacket of Vian Cherchain leads, but just ridden along a little bit to maintain that advantage. Gets over it okay. Loose horse is a little bit in his way. Altior on the right, and then comes Simon Squirrel, and Maputo still held up at the rear of the field, so they make their way down now to the 2nd last. There's only 3 lengths between them. them. Preceded by this loose horse, and at the third last, Vian Cherche joined by Altior. Maputo coming between them. Simon Squirrel around the outside, and once again this loose horse is getting in their way as they make the turn into the home straight, and Altior has taken it up. Altior leads as they run into the straight. He's only a length ahead of Maputo. Simon Squirrel is in third position as they head down towards the eighth and final obstacle, still preceded by the loose horse. Altior just, Maputo's only a neck behind him in second place and is now brought through to make his challenge. Altior in front with the maroon on the cap. The far side of him is Maputo. Very tight between this pair. Altior is trying to fend off the challenger Maputo, and it's Altior just. So Maputo in second place, Simon Squirrel in third, and Vian Cherche the last home.
Altior shows great resolution and tenacity to successfully defend his unbeaten record over hurdles. He's now 3 out of 3, and he gives Nicky Henderson a repeat success in this Grade 2 Sky Bet Supreme trial. The Lambourne handler having won it 12 months ago with Vita de Rock. Maputo has lost his unbeaten record over timber, but he went down fighting in second. Simon Squirrel in third, and Vian Cherche in fourth, with the riderless Drumley Sunset leading them up the run-in, and more on the start of the race in a moment. It didn't lack for drama in the first 25 yards. The good news is that Richard Johnson is none the worse, because he has in the last few moments just walked past me, and Sky Bet are offering Drumley Sunset's supporters a refund. Altior 20s from 25s with Sky Bet for the Sky Bet Supreme trial. Keep an eye on Drumley Sunset. Jinx loses his footing, goes down, very nearly takes out Vian Cherche, and very nearly, Jonathan, brings down Simon Squirrel in the process.
Yeah, dramatic start, wasn't he? He's been known to hang in his races, but yes, he just caught Richard Johnson completely unawares, and Johnson was off before the horse then slipped over. Yes, and that took away the horse that everyone thought was going to make the running, and so it was left to Vian Cherche, who I don't think probably enjoyed having to be in front, and in the end finished well beaten.
And as you will see from those shots, Johnson was quickly on his feet, with Simon Squirrel tracking the pace. Drumley Sunset may have been out of the race as far as his